Okay, so misdemeanor, the word demeanor means like the way you behave. What's your demeanor? That's like your, some people are like very friendly and nice. Some people are very aggressive, right? Some people are shy. Some people are rude. Like that's demeanor, right? And D means bad. Okay, like let's see. Miss. I'm sorry. Miss means bad, like mistake, right? Misstatement, right? So misdemeanor means bad behavior. Okay? Can you guys think of some examples of misdemeanor offenses? Small offenses. Well, for example, spitting on the sidewalk. That's a misdemeanor. Okay? You spit on the sidewalk, if the police see you doing that, you could get a ticket for spitting on the sidewalk. Okay? Usually what happens with a lot of times what happens with or sometimes what happens with teenage girls is they don't have a job, they don't have money, so they go to like a pharmacy and they steal makeup, and then they get arrested for petty theft, and then their parents have to go to court, and then they have a misdemeanor on the record. But if they're minors, when they become adults, that record will be sealed or deleted. Okay? But once you're an adult, if you have a misdemeanor on your record, you can never get rid of it. It will be with you for the rest of your life. Okay, like that forever. Okay? So misdemeanors are not a good thing, especially if you're an adult. Okay? With a young man, what happens to them is they want to look cool, so they go like to a department store and they'll steal like some Ray-Ban sunglasses, right? Or something like that, and then they get arrested for petty theft and the same thing, right? And if they're minors, that record will be deleted when they become adults. But if you're an adult, can you ever get rid of that crime, that conviction? No, it's with you for the rest of your life. Okay, so misdemeanors are a bad thing, but they're not catastrophic necessarily. Okay, how about a felony? What's a felony offense? Is that a less serious or more serious than a misdemeanor? That's a very serious offense, right? Felonies are very serious offenses, right? Can you give me examples of felony offenses? What's an example of felony offense? Murder. Yeah, murder. Okay, that's for sure. That's a felony. Murder, right? Homicide, rape, right? Armed robbery, kidnapping. Okay, okay. Going to a liquor store and with a gun and holding up the clerk, right? Those are all felony offenses, right? Drug trafficking in large amounts, right? Like say cocaine. Okay, so those are terrible things. Okay, if you get a felony offense on your record, may God help you. Okay, because if you get a felony offense on your record, there's probably nobody or almost nobody who will hire you, right? Because think about it, if you were a business owner, a business manager, and you had a job open, and 10 people apply for the job or more, right? But one of the applicants has a felony and the others don't, would you pick the felon or you would not? No. See? So if you get a felony on your record, you end up like Dr. Nassar, okay? Not that bad. You may if you once you get out of prison, you might you'll be able to get out of prison hopefully if it's not too serious. But your career is cooked. You're cooked. Okay? So you want to stay away from that. Okay? And so the third question is which offenses can lead to deportation from the United States? So which offenses could lead to deportation from the United States if you're not an American citizen? The misdemeanors or the felonies? The felonies, right? You get if you're an international student or even if you have a green card, if you're not an American citizen, even with a green card, if you commit a felony, if you're convicted of a felony, there's a possibility you could be deported. There have been American soldiers who were not citizens who had a green card who went to fight in Vietnam or in other countries like Iraq, and they were convicted of a felony and they got deported. Okay, so felonies will get you deported if you're not an American citizen. If you're an American citizen, you'd probably be in prison for a long time. Okay, but you won't want to necessarily be deported. Okay. So you want to stay away from that. Now, usually, if you go to Tijuana, which is the city in Mexico that's closest to California, and you get in a taxi or you go to the hotels or you go to the restaurants, you'll find these people that speak very good English. Maybe not as good as yours, but as good as a lot of international students. Your English is quite good. And then you ask them, how come your English is so good in Mexico, you know? And they'll tell you, well, because I used to live in California. I used to work in California. And you say, well, then why are you here in Tijuana now? Why aren't you still working in California? And they'll say, well, I got deported. Oh, I see, okay. These are taxi drivers, restaurant workers, hotel workers, right? They say, I got deported. And then you ask them, well, why did you get deported? And they'll say, well, I had a DUI. What's a DUI?
Oh, drinking alcohol.
Yeah, drinking under the influence, right? Now, your first DUI is a misdemeanor, and it's going to cost you about $15,000. Okay, that's why we have Uber and Lyft. Your second DUI is also misdemeanor. Now you're talking more than $50,000. So with two DUIs, you're at over $30,000 in expenses, right? And it's going to be on your record. You'll have two misdemeanors. Okay. The third DUI, it could be a misdemeanor, but the judge can deem it a felony. Okay. So you get three DUIs, the judge likes you, they say, okay, I'll give you another misdemeanor. Okay? You get three DUIs, the judge doesn't like you, the judge is in a bad mood, I'm calling this felony. Now you got a problem. Okay? And you just told me that felonies can get you deported, right? So that's what happened to them. So you go to Tijuana, you ask them, why did you get deported? They tell you I have a DUI on my record. And then you ask them, how many DUIs do you have? You already know. Okay, they said, well, I have 3, 4, 5 DUIs. Okay, well, that's how they get deported. Okay, we have 10 or 12 million people in this country working without any kind of visa. They don't have a green card. They don't have a student visa. They don't have any kind of paper that legitimizes their life in this country. Yes, sir.
If someone were to get a felony, what would you advise if they do?
Oh my God. Pray. Pray a lot. Well, there are some employers who will make an effort to hire felons, but they're very few. There are organizations that try to help felons gain employment, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult. One of the things that if you go to Tijuana, that one time I went to Tijuana on vacation, and I saw this tall, young Caucasian gentleman there, young man, and I talked to him because I could tell he was not Mexican. He's tall and white, blue eyes. And I said, well, how come you're here? He says, well, I live in Tijuana. And I said, well, how come you live in Tijuana? And he says, well, because I have a felony on my record, and my rent, and I can't afford the rent. So I'm living in Tijuana, and I'm paying, I think it's $200 a month rent. And then I cross into the United States to find work, and then I go back to my apartment in Tijuana. So that tells you the severity of the situation, right, for a person with a felony on the record. It's very difficult, unfortunately. You know, I wish that the American criminal system was more lenient and more humanitarian, but it's not. It's not. Do you think most police officers are liberal Democrats or most police officers are conservative Republicans? What do you think? Are they wearing like long hair and beads and earrings or tattoos? Most police officers? No, right? They're wearing short hair, right? Clean cut. That tells you that they're mostly liberals or mostly conservatives. Conservatives, right? Means mostly Republicans. So they're not going to be lenient. They're by the book, strict by the book, right? Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Even in California, which is a liberal state. Okay, let's go.